Hello students, myself Shanaz and I am back with first chapter of 9 science, that is matter in our surrounding. In our last session we discussed following points, that is characteristic of solid, liquid and gas. We discussed shape of solid and volume, intermolecular spaces between the particles of solid, liquid and gas, force of attraction between the particles, that is intermolecular force, kinetic energy of particles, compressibility, rigidity and fluidity. Now we will discuss the definition of rigidity, compressibility and fluidity. What is rigidity? We know that solid does not change its shape if any external force is applied on it. This characteristic of solid is called rigidity. So definition of rigidity is the tendency of matter to maintain its shape when subjected to outside force is called rigidity. Now solids have rigidity, but liquids and gases are not rigid. They does not possess this tendency. Their shape can be changed by applying external force. Now compressibility. What is compressibility? When external pressure is applied, then volume of matter decreases or reduces. This property is called compressibility. Now this compressibility is possessed by gas. Gases are compressible and that's why it can be filled in the cylinders and transported, but solids and liquids are not compressible. So what is the definition of compressibility? The property of matter by which the particle of matter can be brought nearer by applying an external force is called compressibility. The matter which has compressibility, its volume can be reduced by applying external force. Now fluidity. Fluidity is the property of particle of matter to flow. Now we know that solids cannot flow, but liquids and gases can flow. So liquids and gases are called fluid. They have this property of fluidity. Now students, we know that when we heat ice, it is converted into water, and water on heating is converted into vapor. Any solid when heated is converted into liquid, and liquid on heating is converted into gas. The temperature required to change the state of matter may differ from matter to matter, but this phenomena takes place with all the matters. Now in the same way, when gases are cooled down, it is converted into liquid, and when liquid on cooling down is converted into solid. Now how does it happens? What happened to the particles when change of state takes place? When we increase the temperature of any solid, the kinetic energy of the particles increases, and as we know, when kinetic energy increases, the particles start moving with a great speed. The energy supplied by heat overcomes the force of attraction between the particles, and the particles go far away from each other, leaving their fixed position. And the stage is reached when solid melts and is converted into liquid. Means on increasing the temperature, increasing the temperature affect the kinetic energy, and due to increase in the kinetic energy of the particle, they go away from each other and change of state takes place. Now we will see one activity by which it will be clearly understood how this change of state takes place.
Specific latent heat is the amount of heat energy required to change the state of a unit mass of a substance without change in temperature. The word latent means dormant or concealed. Let's perform an activity to find out why the heat energy required to bring about a change of state is called latent heat. Take some ice cubes in a beaker. Suspend a thermometer into the ice cubes and note its temperature. The temperature is 0 degrees centigrade. Heat the ice cubes. Record the temperature after every minute. Keep stirring the ice-water mixture constantly so that the temperature is uniform throughout. We observe that the thermometer reading remains constant at 0 degrees centigrade, though heat is being constantly supplied. The temperature remains constant till the ice completely melts to water at 0 degrees centigrade. Continue heating water which is at 0 degrees centigrade. We observe that the temperature is increasing. Record the rise in temperature till the water starts boiling. Continue heating. The boiling water gets converted to steam. Observe that the thermometer reading remains constant at 100 degrees centigrade, which is the boiling point of water. That is, there is no change in temperature. This shows that the temperature remains constant whenever there is a change of state. What happens to the energy supplied? The energy supplied is used to break the intermolecular force of attraction existing between the molecules, and therefore the thermometer does not register a rise in temperature whenever there is a change of state. Since the energy supplied is not recorded in the thermometer, the heat supplied is called latent heat. Graph shown here represents the changes taking place when ice at 0 degrees centigrade is heated.
So students, in the activity we have seen that on heating ice it is converted into water, and on heating water continuously it is converted into vapor. And we have seen that latent heat is responsible for conversion of one state of matter into another. First we will see the definition of melting point and boiling point. Okay, what is melting point? The minimum temperature at which a solid melts to become a liquid at atmospheric pressure is called melting point, and the melting point of ice is 273 Kelvin or 0 degrees Celsius, and this process of melting is called fusion. Now what is boiling point? The temperature at which liquid starts boiling at the atmospheric pressure is called its boiling point. Now boiling is a bulk phenomena. Bulk phenomena means boiling takes place throughout the matter. It is not taking place only on the surface or only at any part of the liquid, but it is a bulk phenomena. All the particles of liquid boils and boiling takes place. Now students, we have seen in the activity that when ice is heated at 0 degree, the temperature is not rising, although heat is continuously supplied to the beaker. Now where does this heat goes? Actually this heat is used in breaking down the force of attraction between the particles, and this heat energy is absorbed by the ice without showing any rise in the temperature, and it is considered that it gets hidden into the content of the beaker and is known as latent heat. Actually the word latent means hidden. So the definition of latent heat of fusion is the amount of heat energy required to change 1 kg of solid into liquid at atmospheric pressure at its melting point is known as latent heat of fusion. So the particle in water at 0 degree have more energy as compared to the particle in ice at the same temperature. In the same way, when water reach 100 degree, then at for some time at 100 degree, although the heat is supplied to the beaker, there is no rise in the temperature is seen in the thermometer. Now the temperature in the thermometer is constant till the whole bulk of water is converted into vapor. So where does this heat goes? Again the same way, this heat is hidden heat which is used to overcome the force of attraction between the particles of liquid, and it is converted into gas. When all the water is converted into gas, then again the rise in the temperature is seen. So this hidden heat when liquid is converted into gas is known as latent heat of vaporization. So the definition of latent heat of vaporization is the amount of heat energy required to change 1 kg of liquid into gas at atmospheric pressure at its boiling point is called latent heat of vaporization. The particle of steam at 100 degree have more energy as compared to the particle in water at the same temperature, and that is why it is said that steam cause more harm when you are burned by steam than water at the same temperature. Students, we have seen effect of temperature on matter. On increasing the temperature, the kinetic energy of particle increases, the particle overcome the force of attraction, and matter changes into a new matter, that is solid changes into liquid on heating, and liquid changes into gases. But in some cases, sometimes solids directly converted into gas without undergoing liquid state. This process is known as sublimation. Sublimation is the change of solid directly to gaseous state without going through liquid state. Such substances are called sublimates, example ammonium chloride or camphor. Even at our home, we use naphthalene balls we put naphthalene balls in our cupboard to keep away some germs and termites. Now, have you ever seen naphthalene ball melting in your cupboard? No, it never melts. It is in solid state, and then after few days it disappears. Actually, it is a sublimate. So it directly converts from solid state to gaseous state. Now, the reverse of sublimation is called deposition. In deposition, the change of gaseous state is directly to solid state without undergoing liquid state. So there are some matter which does not undergo liquid state. They are directly converted from solid to gas and gas to solid. Now students, we will see how sublimation takes place. Take a china dish and put some ammonium chloride in it. Now cover the china dish with inverted funnel and cover the nozzle of funnel with cotton plug. Now heat the china dish on a burner. You will see after some time the ammonium chloride which is placed in the china dish disappears. When you put off the burner, you will find that on the inner surface of inverted funnel, you will find some deposition, and that deposition is nothing but ammonium chloride is again solidified. This shows that ammonium chloride is a sublimate. On heating, it is solid ammonium chloride is directly converted into vapor, and on cooling, the vapor of ammonium chloride are again solidified in the inner surface of inverted funnel. Now students, this picture shows the effect of temperature on the state of matter. When any solid is heated, it is converted into liquid, and this process is known as fusion. When liquid is heated, it is converted into gas, and this process is known as vaporization. Gas on heating is gas on cooling down is converted into solid, and this process is known as deposition. Now same way, solid on heating, when it is directly converted into gas, this process is known as sublimation. In the same way, when gas cools down, it is converted into liquid, and this process is known as condensation. Again, on liquid, on cooling is converted into solid, and this process is known as solidification. So in this way, temperature affects the state of matter. As we have seen that by changing temperature we can change the state of matter, in the same way by changing pressure also we can change the state of matter. When we apply pressure on the gas, the particle of matter come close to each other. The gas can be liquefied by applying pressure and reduce the temperature. Thus, temperature and pressure determine the state of matter. Now, in case of carbon dioxide, when carbon dioxide gas is stored under pressure, the carbon dioxide gas is directly converted into solid form. It solidifies without coming into liquid state. Therefore, solid carbon dioxide is known as dry ice. Now, evaporation. We all know what is evaporation. When liquid is converted into vapor, this process is known as evaporation. The proper definition of evaporation is the phenomena of change of liquid into vapor at any temperature below its boiling point is called evaporation. Now we have studied that boiling is a bulk phenomena. In boiling also, liquid is converted into vapor, and in evaporation also same thing happens. But in boiling, all the particles of liquid possess kinetic energy and are converted into vapor. But in case of evaporation, the particles which are present only on the surface of the liquid gets heat up, possess kinetic energy, and it is converted into vapor. Therefore, evaporation is a surface phenomenon. Now, there are some factors which affect rate of evaporation. The first one is increase of surface area. Now, we know that if surface area is more, then evaporation is faster, as it is a surface phenomena. Now, take 50 ml of water, put that water in a saucer and another 50 ml water in a cup and put it in the sunlight. Which water will evaporate faster? Obviously, the water which is kept in the saucer will evaporate faster, as saucer provide more surface area for evaporation than cup. It means if more surface area is there, evaporation is faster, and if surface area is less, evaporation is very slow. Now, rate of evaporation also increases with increase in the temperature, and that is why during summer season, due to high temperature, our clothes dry up faster than in monsoon or winter season. When you kept something under sunlight, when you keep water under sunlight, it will evaporate faster than the same thing when you do when it is kept inside the room or shady area. Now, rate of evaporation also increases with decrease in the humidity. Now, what is humidity? The water vapor present in the air is known as humidity. Now, during rainy season, we have seen that clothes dry very slowly compared to summer or winter, because air has a specific water holding capacity. Now, during rainy season, air is already full of water, and so its water absorbing capacity reduces, and that is why evaporation is very slow during monsoon compared to summer and winter, and that is the reason that clothes dry up faster in summer and winter than in monsoon. Now, rate of evaporation also increases with increase in the wind speed. Now, this phenomena also we have seen when your mother mopped the floor, she put on fan. What is the function of fan? It increases the speed of wind in the room, and so the floor dries up faster. That means the water which is present on the surface of the floor evaporates quickly when fan is on. So, rate of evaporation increases with increase in the speed also, speed of wind. In evaporation, water is converted into vapor. The liquid keeps on evaporating. Now, during evaporation, a high energy particle leave the surface. This result in the decrease of average kinetic energy of remaining particles. So, the particle of liquid absorb energy from the surrounding to regain its lost energy. This makes the surrounding cold. The heat energy absorbed from the surrounding is equal to the latent heat of vaporization, and because of this reason evaporation causes cooling, because when liquid changes into gas during evaporation, this change of matter requires some energy, and that energy is absorbed from the surrounding, and so the temperature of the surrounding reduces little bit, and this causes cooling. That is why evaporation causes cooling. We have always heard people saying we should wear cotton clothes during summer. Now, what is the reason? Because in summer, because of heat, we perspire, because of mechanism of our body. Now, cotton absorb this perspiration, absorb the water. It absorbs the sweat, exposes to the atmosphere for evaporation. Now, as the sweat evaporates, it will acquire energy from the surrounding also and from our body also to convert liquid into gas, that is sweat, to vaporize the sweat. And because of this reason, we will feel cool in cotton clothes than in synthetic clothes. Now, this is the effect of evaporation of sweat. Now there are so many things in which we observe that evaporation cause cooling effect. Suppose when you put some acetone on your palm, what will happen? Acetone has very low boiling point. So as soon as acetone will come in contact with air, it will start evaporating, and for evaporation it will absorb energy from surrounding and from your palm, and so it will cause cooling effect. In the same way, when we put water in the earthen pot, the water cools down faster, especially during summer, because earthen pot has tendency to absorb water. So the outer surface of earthen pot remains wet, and you will find some water droplets on the outer surface of pot. Now these water droplets, when it will come in contact with air, it will evaporate, and for evaporation it will absorb energy from pot and from the surrounding, and so the temperature of water inside the earthen pot will reduce, and so we find cold water in the earthen pot during summer season. Now same way, many people use desert cooler during summer. In desert cooler, water is sprinkled, and as water is sprinkled, evaporation takes place because surrounding air is hot and dry during summer, and because of this evaporation, water cooler or desert cooler give cold air during summer. So students, I hope you all understand this. With this I end the chapter. Please revise it again. Please see the slides and pause the slide and note down wherever you find that important points are given. Thank you. Bye bye and take care.